From CapitalWeatherGang.com, I'm Camden Walker. With a new year, we have a new active weather pattern coming our way starting this weekend. We have a line of storms potentially setting up in the atmosphere beginning this weekend into next week. There is a big question mark. Do we see this storm system that is likely this upcoming weekend? Will it be wintry in nature or more wet with some wintry mix? Thanks, Anna, for watching, and Julie, and hello. I'm on a new format with Instagram, with X.com, with Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for joining on any of our 4 platforms. Anytime you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. I'm Camden Walker, happy to be here on our holiday Monday edition for Sunset Live Q&A, and I'll see you again with the holidays behind us for this upcoming Sunday. Alright, so let's make sure I can see all your comments. I'm working on that now. I've got Claire on Instagram and Tim's and Stevie. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will be able to go through the forecast here with radar active tonight. This is one of the few perturbations in the atmosphere this week. It's a fairly quiet week until the eyes that we're getting on this next weekend storm. Happy New Year, Aaron. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. Let's go through our snow potential index that we have. As of right now, it's a 1 out of 10, and the National Weather Service also watching this potential Day 6 winter storm threat potential in our region. More likely than not, west and northwest of DC has a higher chance at seeing wintry precipitation and a higher impact chance, but note on the y-axis, confidence is still low that we see wintry impacts in our region, but the higher impacts are more likely going to be west of I-95 if this wintry threat this upcoming weekend does materialize. And you can see on the map key, yellow and orange are kind of the lower end of the scales right now, so we don't need to be on red or magenta threat alert just yet, but it is worth monitoring as we get closer to the storm. Lots of unknowns. We'll get into why we're watching the track very carefully, and here it is right now. Forecast at a glance there at the bottom. Again, it's a pretty kind of tranquil, benign week. We're watching as the storm system tonight pulls away. Not much in the way coming our way with precipitation this week. But look at the storm system coming in this weekend. It is a mess potentially. It is likely we do see a storm track through here, but precipitation types and impact level for wintry precipitation depends very much on the tracks. The final track of the storm is very much up in the air, so please stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com as we get closer to this weekend. Most likely timing, which is subject to change, Saturday afternoon through Sunday afternoon, but as you can see here, one model is not sure if we get the low pressure system initially tracking through Tennessee, through Kentucky, then where on the coast does it redevelop and move through the mid-Atlantic and up the coast? That is very uncertain. So look at all those low pressure centers, very unknown, can't get a fix, the weather models, on where the track does go for this upcoming weekend storm. Alright, temperatures this week, generally cool, seasonably mild and cool. It is close to our kind of mid-January coolest time of the year, so keep that in mind. These are fairly typical temperatures for high temperatures in the 40s this week. And on Instagram, if I'm missing your comments, please repeat them every now and then. It looks like, all right, Monkey Bread, you're having an issue with my audio, so let me know if this is any better at this point. A lot of static. All right, let's reboot the mic. We've got a little bit of microphone reboot there. Hopefully that is a little bit better. We can go ahead and unplug it potentially. All right, so still staticky. All right, let's. Second, we're gonna get the MacBook Air microphone set up for in a second. There we go. All right, let's see if that's any better. I hope the closed captioning, Paul, is keeping up with it. I know we'll caption a little bit later. Let's restart now. Let's get going. You've seen the temperature animations, pretty benign this week with temperatures, very little precipitation to speak of. And then the PM update is there for you at capitalweathergang.com. That's actually a forecast from our head editor, Jason Salmonell. So keep in mind, radar tonight, we could see some wet snowflakes mixing in with much of this rain. But anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker for capitalweathergang.com. We're doing our holiday Monday edition for Sunset Live. You'll see me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. And looking ahead in the 8 to 14 day period, we're still kind of on that border for slight potential for above average temperatures. Snow lovers may not want to see that when you see in conjunction with the bottom map a high probability of above average precipitation. So we will get maybe more drought relief. We're ending the year in 2023 with a little bit of drought in the D2 severe drought there in the central Blue Ridge Mountains. So more precipitation in the mid to long range models it's good news. It's good news. We definitely need a lot of that rain. All right. So appreciate all of you tuning in. Jared, Mary, Taba, Abby, you're tuning in from x.com. Taba, thanks so much for reporting. And you have a good Happy New Year as well. Kristen, thanks for tuning in from Facebook. All right. I think I've caught up on the comments. I appreciate seeing you on YouTube, Aaron. We've got Facebook tonight, Instagram, and x.com. We're on 4 platforms tonight. So I appreciate new year, new format. We're doing a vertical test here with Instagram and our other social media channels. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. Here's the latest forecast from Jason Samnow, our head editor, taking you through a fairly tranquil week. We got a little bit of precipitation chances here and there, brief. Nothing much to speak of ahead of the weekend storm that we're beginning to watch. That's kind of becoming our team focus and worth monitoring all of us as we go into the next several days, getting closer to this weekend. We hopefully will have a better fix on the track of this storm, which it looks likely will move through the area. The big question mark, depending on the exact track, how much wintry precipitation and winter storm impact do we see? We've got kind of an orange enhanced level west of I-95 for the upcoming kind of Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning and afternoon period. Timing subject to change and duration of the storm subject to change, but kind of keep an eye on this weekend. Maybe consider getting a plan B formulated. Not that you need to take action just yet on replanning your weekend, since there are too many uncertainties to decide upon and make final decisions for at this point. But you can see the main impacts could be west of I-95, west and northwest of town. There's still low confidence with this storm, but the ingredients are there depending on where the track of the storm, in a final manner tracks kind of away from us and keeping cold air in place that is kind of limited in nature. We could see some wintry mix, some sleet. Freezing rain can't be ruled out. Snow is more likely in the higher elevations in the Blue Ridge and Skyline Drive area. Right now, you can see at the bottom there, our snow potential index is a 1 out of 10. So we are monitoring it. We might raise this to a 2 or so tonight if the weather models continue to be a little more consistent at keeping the cold air in place, in addition to wanting to track the storm system over us Saturday into Sunday. So we'll watch it for you. The forecast at a glance is benign enough, kind of tranquil enough until this upcoming weekend. Not too much precipitation to speak of until at the end of this animation, there's the messy storm system for Saturday into Sunday. You can see all the colors, the precipitation types potentially impacting our region. So a lot remains up in the air, except very likely we see a storm system affect us with some type of precipitation this upcoming weekend. Cold air is a little bit limited, but we are thinking higher elevations have a better chance west and northwest of town at seeing some snowfall accumulate. Remains to be seen. More question marks remain around the I-95 corridor and points east. Track remains uncertain in most of the weather models. Kentucky, it wants to track through Kentucky or Tennessee. Then they want to redevelop, the weather models want to redevelop that low pressure system with all those different L's along the coast and into North Carolina. That's a big difference. That's a wide geographic difference. We can't pin it down just yet. I hope you don't have any other weather media services telling you that we have a high confidence for a high impact storm this upcoming weekend. It is just worth monitoring. Michael, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. And Paul, we do indeed still have some drought we are speaking of in the region. I'll go into that in just a moment. And Arthur, we could use a bit of snow and hope we get lots of snow this weekend. Mandy, thanks for tuning in from Instagram. And let's see, we've got Carrie on Instagram and Ginger and Julie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate seeing all of you all tune in from Instagram as well. All right, we've got Alyssa and Jamil as well, and Pickle's mom. Excellent. Daughter Arthur, your daughter does want a bit of snow. Mary, I don't think the storm will have a name. And Preston, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia has a higher chance of seeing some snow from this weekend storm, including northwestern Maryland, but I'm not as confident for northeastern Maryland, Charlene. Fairfax County, Arthur, is kind of on the line with some mixed precipitation potential, but lots remains before we can call the type of precipitation, duration of precipitation, the onset time of the storm system this upcoming weekend. All of it is on the table: rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain. And indeed, Chris, the ingredients are there for our first potential wintry storm this upcoming weekend. But it remains to be seen if we can put all of the ingredients together. All right, so we've got the forecast at a glance there, with temperatures kind of fairly, normal, cool as we get into the coolest part of our year in mid-January. It's not a surprise. And Frederick Kaz on X.com, you appreciate you tuning in. You have a higher chance of seeing some snow this upcoming weekend than around the Beltway. Again, cold air is going to be limited in nature, so we have to watch very carefully where the final track sets up for the coastal potential of the storm for the upcoming weekend. Samir, I wouldn't change your Sunday night plans at the airport just yet. Saturday night has a higher potential of being messier than Sunday night. Lewis, appreciate you tuning in. And make sure, Lewis, you're tuning in to either Facebook.com, Instagram, YouTube, or X.com. We're on all 4 of our social media channels tonight. But I appreciate seeing you and everyone on even on Instagram. I'm hoping the new vertical, Happy New Year, by the way. We're doing a new year, new vertical setup. And thanks for letting me get used to some of our kinks and bugs tonight as we go through the next, looks like I'm on the air another 8 minutes or so. Yaster, Danny, appreciate you tuning in from YouTube. Let me make sure, Lewis, make sure you swipe left to see all the comments. That's a great tip from Paul. And TLC723, thanks for tuning in from YouTube, from Instagram as well. All right. I think I've caught up on comments. Snow in Brunswick, Roxandra, I hope I can send that your way. But the storm system this weekend, what we're talking about is that it is coming through with high confidence of seeing a storm this weekend. And here's our latest forecast and the latest radar. With tonight, we do see some wet snowflakes mixing in a few places as the storm system pulls away and leaves us with a fairly benign week. But temperatures and precipitation for 8 to 14 days, we can talk more about the particulars as we get for our next Sunday sunset chat in 6 days. But high likelihood that we see above average precipitation and low chance. We might be a little bit probability of higher than average temperatures, above average temperatures for 8 to 14 days out. That's not great for snow lovers, is it? Yeah, Frederick, an anomaly from Instagram. Frederick is in a better position, even though this is a low confidence storm system. We don't know exactly where the winter precipitation might set up just yet, but we can use any precipitation. With drought still in our region, we can definitely use it over the Central Blue Ridge, and that happens to be where there's a higher chance at seeing some of the snow setup in this upcoming storm. So yes, a storm is most likely coming through Saturday and Sunday this upcoming weekend, but low confidence when it comes to wintry precipitation. West and northwest of town is in the orange indication color here from the National Weather Service, with a slightly higher impact chance potential. So uncertainties are there, but if the ingredients come together, and we do have a big if with the cold air and limited supply with this upcoming storm for this weekend, we do think higher elevations could see a higher chance of sleet, snow, a wintry mix, even a little bit of freezing rain can't be ruled out. The yellow, the lower kind of slight likelihood of seeing wintry storm impact along I-95 and points east. That's because we could be a little bit warmer there, and we don't know if the storm could track close enough to the Beltway, for instance, that we see changeover or more rain than wintry precipitation. And it's not out of the question that we see a lot of rain from this storm system rather than wintry precipitation. So keep that in mind. RGE, thanks for tuning in from X.com. So we do have high confidence at seeing a storm, but low confidence with the storm's composition, with the storm's precipitation, if it is wintry or not for this upcoming weekend. Peter, thanks for tuning in from Facebook. Rick, good to see you. And temperature trends are trending with a hair a little bit warmer than not above average, Lewis, for the kind of middle part of January, as we saw a minute ago in those maps. All right, Mary, a little bit of sun this week in our forecast at a glance here. I could use it too. But, clouds are going to be ruling this time of year with the low sun angle. It's hard for us to burn off some of these clouds. All right, I'm on the air another 4 minutes or so. Camden Walker, CapitalWeatherGang.com. Fairly tranquil week ahead of the all eyes going on 6 days, 5 to 6 days from now. And a weekend storm is coming our way. Big question marks remain, and low confidence is there for wintry precipitation from this storm system. Final track, very uncertain right now. So while we do have high likelihood at seeing a storm impact us, rain is still on the table, along with snow, sleet, and freezing rain. I will show you that the weather models are very uncertain at where the low pressure system this weekend, after it tracks through Kentucky or Tennessee, then you can see multiple low pressure systems plotted by the weather modeling systems all over North Carolina and the coast of Virginia. It's very important to hone in and wait for the weather models to hone in on just where the track might go for this weekend storm. Yes, a storm is coming our way. We don't know what the precipitation type might be just at this point. So we're kind of letting you know ahead of time. It's worth watching as we get closer. Temperatures this week are not all that cold. Snow lovers, should take some cautious optimism from this storm system that's coming this weekend, because there is not a lot of cold air available. That remains a problem for seeing wintry precipitation as we get into the weekend. And here's the latest forecast at CapitalWeatherGang.com from our head editor, Jason Samenow, right here below. Latest radar is showing it's still active in our region with some light showers and precipitation. A little bit is mixed in with, like, some snowflakes are mixed in, but not accumulating. And tonight's precipitation that's slowly pulling out of your Absy. Thanks for tuning in from Instagram. And Quaint Kitchen and Kitty and Gina, thanks so much for tuning in. Good evening, David from Facebook and Karina on X.com. The timing of the storm is looking like Saturday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. I'll almost say medium confidence in that timing, and then higher confidence that we see a storm system impact our region, but low medium confidence at best of where the wintry precipitation, if any, develops. Where is that going to set up? That is the big question mark for this upcoming weekend storm. And yep, Happy New Year to you, David. I appreciate it. And Lewis, I will check this if I can do anything for you later, Lewis. I'm glad you're tuning in, and at least I'm able to see your comments, so that's great. Lisa and Mara, thanks for tuning in on Instagram as well. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, on the air another couple minutes or so. We've looked ahead to show in the 8 to 14 day period, temperatures are still right on that line, maybe a little bit above average with low probability. We're leaning above average in our region. Not great for snow lovers. If we do see another storm track behind this weekend storm for next work week, and you can see a high probability we are seeing above average precipitation for next work week as well. Great for the drought situation. We still have some in the middle of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We could use some precipitation. And snow lovers, though, I'm sorry to report we still have enough uncertainties of whether or not, where we see wintry precipitation this upcoming weekend and into next work week, should we see a second storm develop as well. Latest forecast anytime you need us. We're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. This is the latest forecast on our blog there for you. We're there 24/7. Jason Samenow, our head editor, wrote this for you, kind of giving you a fairly benign, tranquil weather work week ahead of this weekend's activity, which it is a storm likely coming our way, unknown how wintry it might be. Radar there on the bottom showing a few wet snowflakes that aren't accumulating, mixing in with tonight's rainfall pulling out slowly overnight tonight. Our snow potential index, our SPI, is a 1 out of 10. We could raise that in the coming days. Stay tuned to all 4 social media channels that we're on right now: Instagram, x.com, YouTube, and Facebook. We're live right now, simulcasting our Holiday Sunset Live Q&A. I'm Camden Walker, and we'll be watching this weekend storm that is most likely coming our way. Very hard to pin down where rain sets up: snow, sleet, freezing rain. It's all on the table, but higher elevations west and northwest of DC, west of I-95, have slighter, better chance of seeing colder air in conjunction with this storm system moving in this weekend. That's why we're orange coloring there and only a slight yellow coloring along and east of I-95, where there's not as good a chance at seeing cold air hang on while precipitation moves in this weekend. So we'll keep you posted at capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Happy New Year to you. I hope my new format, the vertical format, on all of our 4 social media channels helped out a little bit. Thanks for letting me work out some kinks and bugs today, and I'll see you next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat in 6 days. And by that point, we could be saying goodbye to the storm system this upcoming weekend. We'll, of course, keep you posted on capitalweathergang.com as we get closer this weekend and the storm system's track that's coming our way with high likelihood. That final track, as we pin down where that is, we'll know with better confidence at the wintry precipitation impacts for this upcoming weekend as well. But if you live west or northwest of town, you're in a better situation to see wintry mix or snow, whereas along and east of I-95, you could see some rain. Most, if not all, could be rain with less chance for snow and wintry mix there. All right, I'll sign off for now, and I wish you a good shortened work week. Thanks for tuning in, Ryans and Yo-Yo and Hage from Instagram. Appreciate seeing all of you on our 4 social media channels tonight. Take care, and